It's good to be here today. I did make it. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself and why I find myself up here. I'm a human rights and climate change activist. And for the past 6 years, I've been working primarily looking at the impacts of the extractive mining industry on the lives of Indigenous people. And what I've seen there has been, mass cultural genocide, intimidation, displacement, quite a lot of terrible things. And I thought, I've seen it all. This is pretty dreadful. I'm quite young, but I was having that feeling, seen a lot of dreadful stuff here, and it can't get really much worse. And then about almost 3 years ago, I found out about the Canadian Tar Sands, and I almost could not believe what I was seeing, what I was hearing. This was, the largest industrial project in history, and it was killing people, and it was pretty much, if it continued, going to tip us into catastrophic climate change. So that kind of got my attention, and pretty much since that moment have been working to try and stop this. And that's why I'm really glad to be here, because it's a big job. I'm going to need lots of your help. Oh. So this is where we find ourselves. We all know we've hit peak oil. The easy stuff that squirts out the ground that we can get, it's all gone. We've hit a peak with conventionals. We're now moving into an era of extreme energy, where the industry is relying on moving into more extreme environments, such as offshore drilling, and also more extreme methods of extracting energy to fuel our lives. So this is what all the fuss is about. It's this sticky, tar-like black substance which is found underneath the forest. It's not oil as yet. It has to go through multiple processes of refining in order to eventually become oil. You can't move this through pipelines. It requires up to 2 or 3 times of processing, huge amounts of water, huge amounts of natural gas, and a cocktail of toxic solvents. So these are the Canadian Tar Sands, and it's the largest deposit of bitumen in the world. At the moment, estimates are that there's 1.7 trillion barrels of unprocessed oil lying underneath the forest and muskeg. And Canada processes, at the moment, 1.25 billion barrels of oil a day. This oil is going to the US, primarily. The US is now getting its oil from Canada. It's not from Saudi Arabia, not the Middle East, as you might think. So as this project continues, Canada is posing itself to become the second largest producer of oil in the world. Oh. Having a glitch. So I guess that slide's moved. So I might as well let you see what I'm talking about and show you a little video here.
The boreal forest is known as the lungs of the earth. Teeming with wildlife, it is the planet's vital carbon sink. First Nations communities have lived a subsistence lifestyle around the Athabasca region for millennia. Their ecosystem is being dramatically changed into an unrecognisable wasteland. Tar sands are causing the second fastest rate of deforestation on the planet. Already more land has been moved in the tar sands than the Great Wall of China, the pyramids of Chiapas, and the Suez Canal combined. Tar sands production releases at least 3 times the CO2 emissions as regular oil production. The carbon emissions from this project alone equate to 40 million tonnes a year. This is nearly the same as the carbon footprint of the entire nation of Denmark. It is the largest CO2 emitting project on the planet. Toxic waste from the refining process is dumped into tailing ponds, which stretch for hundreds of kilometres. Every day, 11 million litres of toxic water leak into the environment. This is 4 billion litres of contaminated water a year. Bioaccumulation of toxins is leading to an epidemic of rare autoimmune diseases and cancers in First Nations communities downstream. The tar sands are destroying vital ecosystems, costing us lives and threatening us with climate chaos.
Hopefully now you can sort of picture what I'm talking about, the scale of the destruction. These trucks are 3 stories high. This is the largest machinery on the face of the earth. And that project now is you can see it from space. These are satellite images. And so what was once pristine boreal forest is now this toxic moonscape. I actually went to the tar sands and witnessed this devastation, and it's absolutely horrific that this is where we're at. This is the crisis of our generation, that we are now faced with trying to find ways that we can continue to live and continue to prosper. But this is the true cost. This is the path that business as usual has sent us down. This is what happens when we let big business take care of our future for us. So, I mean, how are we going to stop this? I don't want to leave you with this fatalistic feeling. Since I found out about this, I work with Indigenous communities who are impacted by it, and we wanted to raise their voices, to raise this to an international level. So we brought First Nations communities over to the UK, and we did what we do best, which is protest. We shut down some petrol stations, and we had a right good time. And then we decided, but we need to go further with this. We really need to push industry. We need to stop this. And how are we going to do that? We're a bunch of scruffy activists and don't have much money. And so what we set about doing was setting up a coalition of environmental organisations, climate activists, and unlikely sort of ally that came in this were pension funds and investors. What happened was that BP, which is a UK-based corporation, as you all know, was one of the last corporations to make the decision to go into the Canadian tar sands. And we saw this as kind of a low-hanging fruit, that we could stop them from going in this, that we could actually push them away from doing that. So we went into their AGM with First Nations communities, and we made the moral argument. We made the argument that this has to stop, this environmental destruction cannot continue. This is not the solution to peak oil. And we also had pension groups with us who said, we don't want our future tied up in this. We don't think that this is actually a good investment. It looks a bit risky. You've got the toxics all next to the river there. And so, we didn't manage to stop BP, but we've made it a very controversial project. We've put conventionals on the map of being something that we shouldn't be going into, which we need to do because there are tar sands all over the planet and oil companies going in straight ahead to do this. So what I wanted to leave you with is what is happening, and an invitation to join us in stopping big oil, and to encourage you in the innovations and the incredible things that are happening here, these green solutions, these technological solutions. They're definitely a part of it. They're incredible, and we need it. We need it tomorrow. Faster the better. But we also need to stop big oil. We need to stop this destruction that is taking place. And I invite you to come and talk with me after. And maybe you can disinvest. Pull out your shares. Pull out your pensions. It's easy. That's the first step. Okay, thank you.